County Councillor for Egham, Surrey, Councillor Robert Ashley King has said that the recent £20 cut off universal credit has demonstrated the failure of the Conservative government and it would impact their vote bank in the upcoming local and national elections.
How do you see this? How this particular move would backfire against the Tories and, would be in the benefit for the Labour Party?
Yeah, ultimately.
In conversation with the prominent human rights activist Raja Zeeshan in the renowned social media program Free Speech with Raja Zeeshan, Councillor Robert Ashley King has said that the people are already struggling with different challenges in these testing times and the universal credit cut would increase financial burden on them. The Chancellors claim that the alternative methods such as Household Support Fund, employment schemes extended, free school meals and food bank vouchers would cover these cuts and the elimination of furlough schemes is simply baseless. The Labour Party never endorses the universal credit system from the day one and asked to pause the rollout of universal credit to fix it. Only Labour would now bring social security system to facilitate the people of United Kingdom.
And it's not fair to expect different households that pay the same rate of national income tax to get a different level of support just because they live in one area or another. I mean, for one example, we don't know whether the transfers from local authorities will be cash, whether they'll be vouchers, or they will be in terms of direct transfers to utility companies. Free school meals. Another good example of where that is only set in the majority of time in school time. It's very reliant on what funding that school can do to top up the supplies they have. And also, as we saw throughout the pandemic, quite often the quality of food that children are being given there is substandard. Many families in my division were actually being provided with rotten food, and that was because the supplier that the school had contracted through the government was not up to scratch. Children were going hungry then, as they will go even more so now.
He said that this move would backfire against the ruling party as many of their councillors or MPs are reluctant to defend this cut that has created division within the society.
They're only interested in looking after their mates and rather wealthy families. I've had an inbox that's been full of people with housing cases, predominantly in Surrey because house prices and rental prices particularly are considerably high. And with universal credit, people who have lent their vote to the Tory party, maybe because of the referendum or also because they thought they would give a punt, have really been let down here. We should start picking up not only seats in our traditional red wall that we obviously lost in 2019, but also seats in areas like Surrey where families are really becoming hard pressed. Not just because of the cut from universal credit, but also because of the national insurance increase. For somebody who has a student loan, I'm potentially about to be impacted by a reduce in the allowance I do before I pay student loan because I went out, got a university degree and tried to better myself. The government is not supporting aspirations for families. And more importantly, in the UK, we should be looking after people who are, sick, people who are, really facing hard times. Not just because of the pandemic, and consistently this government has betrayed them as voters.
According to the stats, in more than 400 constituencies, at least 1 in every 3 working age families with kids will be hit due to this universal credit cut. In the worst hit areas, it's more than 3/4. Across the UK, more than 1 in every 14 workers will be hit by the cut, along with the millions of people in Great Britain. For A1 TV and Odd News, Jarrar, Syed, London.